Good morning, everybody. So start with a question. How many of you, well, here we are in East London, how many of you looked up how to get here this morning? Come on, give me some hands. Yeah, probably used TfL, Waze, City Mapper. And if you did, it was most likely that AI was calculating your best route. What about those lunchtime breaks that you have where you do a little bit of sneaky shopping? Anybody ever guilty of that? Yeah, anybody ever get recommended a polka dot tutu, which I got recommended this week? If you did, that was probably because of AI as well. And then when you leave here tonight and you're thinking about, dinner, and you're maybe thinking about what to order and get some food, you might be surprised to know that a lot of the food delivery apps actually have AI at the heart of them to work out the most efficient way of distributing your order. So the pizza that you will be eating will be thanks to artificial intelligence. And when we think about AI, we often think about it being positioned in this distant future. But the reality is, it's here, and it's part of our daily lives in so many different ways. And what I want to do today is talk a little bit about how Facebook is using AI and why it's so important to us. Now, we first set up our first AI team in 2013 in America. And in 2015, we opened our lab in Paris. And then in July last year, we opened here in London, our AI research lab. And we strongly believe that AI needs to be done and research needs to be done in the open so that everyone can build from it, everybody can learn from it, and then reproduce and share the results everywhere. So that's why our teams publish what they do and share their code. AI is literally part of everything that we do at Facebook. And today I want to talk about 3 of the main core uses that we're using it for. So these are connecting people, keeping people safe, and creating the next generation of experiences. And I'm going to take each one of these in turn. So firstly, connecting people. Facebook's mission is to give people the power to build community in order to bring the world closer together. And so we use AI to connect people to the things that matter most to them. So the Facebook newsfeed is underpinned by AI in order to help predict what content each of us wants to see. So every single user, every single one of the billion-plus people that are coming onto Facebook every single day and opening their newsfeeds gets a unique and individual experience. So just look at this example. This person gets to see adverts for sportswear and youth hostels and news about the environmental issues that they care about. For me, AI means that I get to see the pictures of my kids, adverts for clothes brands that I like, travel, news articles about UK politics. Now, another way that we're using AI with the newsfeed in particular is how we're helping visually impaired people to enjoy our platforms and to be able to express themselves in the way that sighted people do. Just have a look at this video.
S-S-O-O-N-N-G-G. Friends 937. Newsfeed. Lindsay Russell updated her cover photo yesterday at 10:29 p.m. This image may contain outdoor, cloud, foliage, flat, tree. This image may contain 6 people, child, close up, like 1 or more people, jewelry, smiling, 19 likes, 3 comments like.
Now I can see the picture in my head. Like, yeah, you shouldn't have been that close up. Like, now I can say it.
Oh, I love it. You have no idea. This is amazing.
That whole saying of pictures being worth 1,000 words, I think it's true, but unless you have somebody to describe it to you, even having like 3 words just helps flesh out all the details that I can't see. That makes me feel like included and like I'm a part of it too.
I can just call my mom like, yay, I seen your picture. And she'll be like, what? She was like, how you see it? Because my phone read it to me. It's new. I see.
No matter how many times I see that video, it just warms my heart. And we're using similar technology to automatically caption videos for the hearing impaired as well. Now, another way that we are connecting people is through our work on blood donations. So in many countries, People don't have access to reliable, safe blood at a time of crisis. And so with AI at its heart, we've created a feature that can connect people who are interested in donating blood with local hospitals, blood banks, and other organizations that are able to provide blood to those in need. Thanks to AI, someone that posts a message about the importance of giving blood can then be given information about how to register as a potential donor, and also can choose to be notified when there is an urgent need in an area. So this donation feature now is actually available in India, Bangladesh, Brazil, and Pakistan, and our intention is to continue to roll it out. To date, more than 35 million people have signed up to be blood donors on Facebook. So I think it shows you the impact that when we get AI right, we can actually really be there for people, especially at a time of crisis. I want to give you another example that we've literally just launched. So this is an example of a population density map, all made using AI. So when a disaster happens, relief agencies can respond much more effectively when they have detailed mapping tools to know exactly where they need to deliver assistance. But often, extremely reliable and precise maps are just not available. So our team, that was comprised of artificial intelligence researchers and data scientists, used our computer vision expertise to create and share much more detailed population density maps. These are much more accurate and much higher resolution than any of their predecessors. And what you were seeing here was the yellow maps were basically what the census records. But the areas are so huge that you could literally have people living anywhere. So this is where AI comes in and can actually predict much more accurately exactly where people live, and that's in the blue. When you combine the yellow and the blue together, that's when you get this great precision. So we're now releasing maps of the majority of the African continent, and this project will eventually map the whole of the world's population. And when it's completed, humanitarian agencies will be able to determine how populations are distributed, even in the most remote of areas. And this means that healthcare workers can better reach households and relief workers can better distribute aid. Now I want to turn to the second area and the way that actually Facebook is also using AI in a really important area, which is about keeping people safe. We use artificial intelligence alongside our team of 30,000 content moderators to ensure the integrity of our platforms and to automatically identify and quickly remove spam and terrorism, pornography, hate speech, and other policy-violating content. And for the last few years, we've been publishing our transparency report, which shows the effectiveness of our efforts in combating against some major categories of content. These are they, and we've actually made some really good progress. For example, thanks to AI, we were able to remove 2.19 billion fake accounts between January and March this year, often before they even hit the platform, which is our biggest ever takedown of fakes in a single quarter. What we see in this graph is the percentage we're able to move before it's even reported to us. And so in many cases, AI is used to flag the violating content, and for some categories, just automatically take it down. Now, as you can see, hate speech and bullying and harassment are much trickier areas for us than spam and fake accounts, which we're removing before it's reported. And that's, if I'm honest with you, that's because this stuff is really hard. Just think about it. Slang is constantly evolving. Cultural differences, how do you start to interpretate them? But one thing is for sure, we have got a lot better at removing bad content from our platforms, thanks to AI. And if we relied only on human moderators, we just would not be able to keep it up. And I want to show you an example of how AI, content moderation, has changed. Let's look at this. So before 2015, our set of AI tools for proactively detecting and removing posts like this was incredibly limited. This is just 4 years ago. So we could use behavioral signals such as, has the author been reported before for violations? Are they maybe in a region that has higher reporting rates? But these things can be evaded by creating a new account and maybe doing it from a different location. So our ability to detect problems with the content had to really, really rely on things like identifying keywords in a sentence. And so we were able to catch things like this. But a simple change of wording really could evade our proactive detection. So you can see here now, this person has now changed the post here to Memorial Day deals. Now, I think it's pretty obvious for every single one of us looking at this now that it's a post selling marijuana. But it wasn't until 2015 that computer vision became effective enough to be able to look at the picture itself and be able to start to say, this is bad content. We had to rely on human review or human reporting. But just as we've deployed basic computer vision to catch obvious violations, so too the criminals adapt and start to use images that are harder to figure out. Let's look at this one. Which one of these is broccoli? Which one of these is marijuana? Put your hand up if you think the one on the left is broccoli. Come on, who thinks that's broccoli? Hands up. Okay, not many of you. So if I ask the question, how many of you think the one on the left is marijuana? Hands up. Okay, so it's about 50-50 just looking at the room. Let's see what computer vision says. So the one on the left is marijuana. Our AI told us that with a 93% confidence. The one on the right is broccoli. So did you get it right? Did you get it right in under a second? Could you do that 1 billion more times today? So this work was just deployed just last year, and still the problems keep on morphing. So instead now of posting pictures of marijuana, these bad actors, they now start posting images of packaging that consumers would recognize. Every single one of these images was found by our automated systems. Now, to many of you, they might just look like sweet packets, but they're not, they're drugs. I think this is quite hard for a person to recognize, let alone a system. But we are able now to catch all of these examples thanks to a system we call Kraken. This uses 1 or 2 examples of bad content to discover entire categories of content for removal. Kraken was built on the back of research from our AI research lab that made the algorithm 8.5 times faster than before. So now, from a small sample, we can find similar images amongst billions uploaded daily. And so we can adapt to the new slang or the new packaging, and we can do this in hours, not weeks. 3 years ago, we couldn't proactively detect the post about marijuana on the left. Now we can easily catch the post on the right. Now, I don't know about you, but I think this is amazing progress. And the good thing is that the tools are only going to continue to get better and better. But I also want to stress that we are far from perfect here. And you probably wouldn't have to look very hard to find examples of where the systems failed. Because as I've shown, this is an increasingly adversarial game. Bad actors work out where we make the advances, and then they create the workarounds. So we need to be making sure that we are doing everything in our power to make sure that we stay one step ahead. Let me turn now to our third and final theme: how we're creating the next generation of experiences that otherwise would not have been possible without using AI. Okay, who's ever tried one of these sorts of fun effects on Facebook or Instagram? Anyone done it? Using augmented reality, the faces, the filters, yeah, lots of people nodding here. Actually, it's the AI that's making the augmented reality much more immersive. So we're running cutting-edge algorithms on your device so that the camera can understand your surroundings, recognize places and things, and then power the interactive effects. AI's made your smartphone, it's smarter and it's quicker, and I think it's a hell of a lot more fun to use as well. AI is also the thing that's making it possible to post 3D photos like this one on Facebook. So our 3D feature captures the distance between the foreground and the background of a subject in a photo, giving it a 3D look as you scroll through the timeline. And you can't have a presentation on AI without having a picture of a dog. It's a must-have. What about Portal? Anybody here heard of Portal? Some, few yes, few no. It's our new video calling device. And the really clever thing about Portal is the AI-powered smart camera that follows you around the room while you're chatting so that you can cook or dance or do whatever you want, and whoever you're talking to won't miss a minute of your interaction. So thanks to AI, parents don't have to run around and chase their toddler around their phone to stay in one position. Younger kids are able to be part of a call without having to stay still, and groups of people can interact and be seen with ease. And you can see here in the video how the camera is tracking the people in the shot. That is AI in action. So these are just some of the ways that AI is powering new experiences. But as Michael said before, we need to build responsible and inclusive AI as well. Lade Obamenti leads our technical strategy for AR and VR at Facebook. And she has a cautionary tale to share that I think makes the point. During a very early pre-test launch of Portal, she noticed something wasn't right. She was talking about how much she was liking French toast, and she was gesticulating a lot. And that should have made her the focus of the Portal's camera. But instead of focusing on her, the camera chose to focus on a different subject, Lade's white male colleague. She decided to investigate, and she found that the data that had been used to train Portal wasn't very representative, and it wasn't diverse. So her solution, build what she couldn't find anywhere else in the industry, a framework for what inclusive AI could look like. Excuse me one second. So this framework includes best practices such as having data that includes different genders, different ages, different skin tones. This new framework was used to refine Smart Camera's performance for Portal's launch, so Lade's experiences would not be repeated. Now, it might sound unusual to teach machines to be inclusive, but I think it's really important to ensure that AI-powered devices work well for everyone, regardless of their skin tone or other attributes. And so every time one of our products goes into development, we need to ask ourselves, is this inclusive AI? And does it work for everyone? Now, of course, another question that we're always asking ourselves is, what's next for AI? AI needs hundreds of thousands of examples to learn to do something. That means we've got to teach the machines these hundreds of thousands of examples. This is time-consuming, and it takes a lot of resource. So ideally, we want the machines to be able to learn by themselves, the same way children do, to observe the world around them, and rather than someone having to teach them trillions of what might seem like common sense concepts, like this bottle will fall off a table if you push it, and that there are different types of dog breeds. And we are moving to a place now where AI needs less supervision and less human involvement, which I think is incredibly exciting. But there's still a long way to go on this. And I also get that sometimes AI can seem a bit scary, and that also people have real and valid concerns. I cannot tell you the number of times that I've been asked when the robots will take over our jobs, or even worse, take over the world. But it isn't unusual, as Michael was sharing, for people to be fearful about new technologies, to linger on the bad, to worry about what the implications have been, and this has been the case throughout history. There were those that thought that the printing press would be a complete disaster for society. The Victorians went as far as to say that mass printing, especially in the form of newspapers, would result in the British population going blind. Now, obviously, none of these things turned out to be true. But what it does show is the discomfort and the fear that can accompany change. But it probably will come as no surprise to you that I am firmly in the optimistic club when it comes to technology, especially AI. And I also think London has a very important place to play in the future of artificial intelligence. But to realize the full potential of AI, we do need enough people with the right skills, the right understanding, and the training working in this area, and also having the right environment for innovation and development. Now, I told you at the beginning that we already have a successful team right here in London, right in the capital. But today I'm really pleased to announce that we're opening a new Facebook office on Shaftesbury Avenue, and we're going to create an additional 500 new jobs, new tech jobs, which means that by the end of 2019, Facebook will employ over 3,000 people here in London across our 3 offices. Of these, 100 of these jobs will be in AI, with many of these roles focusing on safety and security. I'm really proud of this development, which shows our commitment to AI. I think this is an extraordinary and an exciting time. So seize the opportunities that are out there, learn as much as you can, because I'm convinced this is a technology that is not just part of our present, but is very much a part of our future. Thank you very much.